Hey everyone. I'm going to just kind of keep this live for a moment and wait for some of the people to kind of come in. I just sent out the email and the links, so we will wait for just a few minutes. And I should probably put my mic on. There we go. Alright, alright. So if you are watching this replay, you can skip ahead like 2 minutes here, and I will start pretty soon. I really planned this webinar like 30 minutes ago, so we will see if anyone even comes, because that's what happens when you don't plan ahead. But I was just going to film this video, so I figured I would film it live and just let people know. So if you guys wanted to hop in and ask questions while I'm kind of talking about all this, you can. And if any of y'all have questions, if you're watching this replay or you have questions after the fact, you can email me, hello@noraconrad.com, or just head over to my website, noraconrad.com, and just comment on a blog post or ask me about whatever. I'm just going to wait one more minute here, and then we will get started. Hey guys, feel free to ask me questions down in the little box below the video. That way I can kind of pay more attention. And say hello over in the chat box to the right of the video. Tell me your name and like how I can connect with you and where you are in the world right now. There's a few of you in here. Alrighty. The cat is on the table, so we gotta keep him away from my drink. Alright. I'm gonna go ahead and get started. There will be a replay of this webinar if you want to watch it later. Hello, hello. Go ahead, introduce yourself on the right of this in the little chat box, and I'll keep an eye on that and on the questions down below the video. But otherwise, we will just jump right in. So today I'm going to talk about how to manage your clients. Whether you are just getting started in your business or you have been doing this forever and you need some more organization, I'm going to give you some tools today and kind of show you how I manage my clients and hopefully give you some new ideas. Hi Cindy, hi Gina. Gia, how do you say your name? Gia? I said Gina, but I don't think that's right. San Francisco and Texas. I'm in Colorado, if you guys didn't know that. Alright, so first I'm going to just go through my process and kind of talk about the tools that I use because those are the things I'm familiar with. And then I will kind of show you some other tools that I have tried in the past and that are pretty good and might work a little better for different industries. So I'm a virtual assistant and business consultant. So most of my projects, well, all of my projects are done online, and they're usually done with people from different parts of the country, so we rarely meet in person. So all of our communication is either over Skype, over email, or within the project management system. So I'm going to show you how right from the start, when someone first contacts me, all the way to the end of the project, what I do to kind of keep all of their stuff and all their information organized. Hello, Nicole from Iowa. Alrighty, so we're going to switch to screen share. Well, maybe I should talk first. Okay, so on my website, there is a Work With Me page. If someone comes through my website, they usually, almost always, click on the Contact Me button on my Work With Me page, and that button takes them to a form in 17 hats that they can then fill out. So we're going to start with 17 hats because that is the tool that I use the most, and I think it's the most helpful tool. So let's switch to screen share here. You guys are going to see some inception. All right. So right now we are in the overview panel of my 17 Hats dashboard. If you don't know what 17 Hats is, I already did a blog post about this and a video, so I'm not going to go too in depth here. I'm just going to kind of take you through the process. All right, so when someone from my website fills out a form, what they're filling out is a lead capture form. And what happens is they fill out all of this information, and 17 Hats automatically makes a lead contact in here. So we're going to use my friend Kaylee because I know that she won't mind. I'm going to be doing a logo for her. So she filled out this form and it created a little contact in my leads. And then what I can do from here is send her a questionnaire, quotes, invoices, contracts, schedule meetings. I can time track my work with her. I can send emails directly through here. I could store files and to-do lists in here. All this crazy stuff that you could do. I can add it directly into my client. So after I have gotten a lead form, usually what I do is I go into my email in Gmail and I send them an email scheduling some sort of meeting. I always send them, excuse me, I always send them a link to my Set More page. Set More is a lot like Calendly, but it's a little more customizable and it's still free. So I really like using it. So far, I've had awesome stuff with this. And my puppy is barking at me in the background. All right, so when they get to this page, what they usually do is sign up for a 15-minute consult. They will be able to pick a time and date, and then they can fill out their information so that way I have all of that. Once a client creates a meeting, I get an email that looks something like this. So this is a reminder, but it looks very similar. It will tell me that I have an appointment set. It tells me when and what time, and it just kind of shows me some of their information, including their email. This is super nice because with Gmail, all I have to do is click on the link here in the actual email. This is just a reminder email. But it will automatically create an event for me in my Google Calendar, which is something that I use a lot. So you can see I have all of my client meetings in here, and all of these were scheduled through Set More. And then 3 hours before the meeting, I get a reminder. So this is one of those reminders I got, just kind of helping me keep on track and remember that I have a meeting. Okay, so after the meeting is scheduled, the next step is just to meet. When I meet with a client, I create a client folder for them. I am one of those people that really likes taking handwritten notes. I don't like typing while trying to talk with someone because I like seeing their face. So I just take a little file folder. I make one for each of my clients. I don't ever have more than 10 clients at a time. And a lot of those clients are really small projects or ongoing projects. So 10 might seem like a lot, but it's not. So what I do is in their files, I print out their questionnaire so that way I have all that information from them. And I also make notes of all of their website, their contact information, their social media stuff, so that way I can kind of keep up. And because I have 10 clients, I do want to make sure that as soon as I open that file, I know who they are, where to find them, and what I'm doing for them. So that's why I like using paper products like that. So during the meeting, I just take notes in their file. I ask them what they need from me. I give them my packages, my prices, all that good stuff. I always use Google Hangouts, unless they prefer Skype, for the meetings because it creates a recording for me, and then I can send the client afterwards a recording of our conversation. So if they have any questions or they forgot something, they can just watch the video and have all of that information again. So after our meeting, if we're not a great fit, I send them an email with a list of people who I think would be a better fit for them or who might be able to help them out better than I could. And if we are a good fit, right after the meeting, I go into 17 Hats and I make a quote for them. So the quote usually allows them to choose either a package, flat rate, or an hourly fee for the project. If it's a huge project, I always just do a flat rate. But if it's something small like VA services for a couple days or setting up a process, I usually offer an hourly rate. So after all of that, 17 Hats will store all that information for me in its system. However, I know that a lot of people will still just email me their information. So for certain projects, I create a project in my project management system, and I use a website called Freedcamp. So I'm going to go ahead and show you that. Freedcamp is a free project management system, and it's very similar to Basecamp. That's what I would kind of compare it to. But these are all my projects. I'm just going to go into my personal projects, so I'm not showing you guys too much info here. What you can do is on this page, you have all of your to-do lists. There's a discussion page, so that kind of helps cut down on the emails that you're sending back and forth. And then there's a files tab, and the files tab allows you to just upload files so that way everyone can see them. You can also add other tabs to projects like calendars, passwords, milestones, and time tracking. 17 Hats has its own timer for time tracking that automatically creates an invoice for you. So I don't really use the time tracking in Freedcamp, but it's still a nice feature to have, especially if you don't use 17 Hats. So I really prefer to use Freedcamp because it keeps everything all in one place, and it's a little easier for my client to kind of keep up with what I'm doing. Every once in a while, though, I have a client who just prefers to use email. They don't really like the system, or they just don't use it, which is not really a big deal, but it can get a little hard to organize all of those emails, especially if you get a lot of emails anyway. So for clients like that, and for client emails in general, I use a system called Streak CRM, and it is a plugin that goes directly with Gmail, and it works amazing with them. And basically, it just kind of organizes your process a little bit. So I will go ahead and show you that. Okay. So Streak is up here. This is their little menu, so you can kind of get information on it. But what it does is it creates an option over here called pipelines. And what pipelines, here's one that kind of what it looks like. It's basically a step-by-step process. And when you want to create one, there's a couple basic pipelines that will kind of help you get started, or you can create your own custom one. For my clients, I use these Sale and CRM one, and then I just customized it. So basically what this does is it groups together all of the emails from your different clients. So I'll open Mary Ann's for now just to kind of show you. Oh, I forgot. She does not use the email. Okay, we'll open Malika's because we've been emailing like crazy. So what it does is it takes all of those emails that you've been sending back and forth to each other, and it stores it in a box. So what we're looking at right now is a client box. I am able to add notes into the box. I can change the stage in here. So right now I'm working with her, so it is in my working stage. I can make any one of these emails a task. So if on this email she wanted me to import her contacts, I can create a task. And then once I'm all done with that task, oh, here we go. Oh, they changed it. Okay, well, I'll have to go through that later. Okay, tasks are now a premium feature. Interesting. Okay, well, either way, you can make a task and basically check it off. So that way it's more of a task list and less of just emails back and forth. You can also add different filters to the box. You can add files. So I've added like some information that she sent me. You can create tasks and reminders. You can also see all of the different emails that were involved in the conversations, and you can see other linked projects. So if I was working with her and someone else on a similar project, I could link the two boxes. This is super helpful because it groups all of the emails together, but it still keeps your emails in your actual Gmail account. So I also have client folders for all of these people. So you can see all of the different posts and emails back and forth in here. Now, one way that I kind of use to organize this, Gmail allows you to group messages together or separate them out. I keep all of my messages separated so that way every new email is listed separately rather than together. And you can edit that setting right here in Conversation View. I have my Conversation View off, so that way every single email that my client Kristen has sent me is on a separate line. This makes it much easier in the actual CRM manager to make individual tasks. So instead of having like 50 emails in this one chain, I can make a task out of each individual email, which makes it much simpler to kind of manage and keep track of. So Streak is definitely like a must-have. If you're going to use any of these systems, Streak CRM is a fantastic one to use because it integrates right with your email, and basically all it's doing is organizing everything. It does it automatically and it's super easy to set up. Streak can do a lot of different stuff and there's a ton of options for it, but if you just use the very basic settings, it can be a really powerful customer relationship manager. So that is kind of the basics of the projects that I use. I do want to show you guys a couple of the other project management systems and other client organization systems that you can use because there's a ton out there. So when I was first getting started, my go-to was Asana. I used Asana for pretty much everything, and it was really nice because you could create tasks, you could assign it to different people, you could invite guests into different projects. But the downside to that was that you had to create a task. You couldn't just upload a file and not have it attached to a task. You couldn't just have a discussion and not have it attached to a project. So it was very limiting in the way that it wasn't an actual task or a to-do item. It didn't really fit into the Asana framework. That's kind of why I started to use Freedcamp, because you can have discussions, you can upload files without attaching it to a to-do item, but there's still those task lists, so that way you can kind of keep on track. So Asana is fantastic if all of your stuff is task-based, but if you need other things involved, it's probably not a great system. Another client relationship system would be Insightly. Insightly works with Gmail as well, but my problem is that it was just too clunky. It could do a lot of different stuff, I mean a lot, but it was just overwhelming. If you have a crap ton of clients, Insightly is a great option for you because it's so easy to filter out, organize, and see all your clients at once. But if you only have 3 or 4 clients like a month or a week or whatever, it's a little too much. It has a ton of stuff that you can do, so if you need a lot of functionality and you kind of want to combine everything into one thing, including projects and invoicing, then Insightly is a really good thing to check out. If you need something a little more simple and you want something a little prettier, 17 Hats is a great alternative to that. And I shouldn't really say alternative because 17 Hats costs money and Insightly is free. There's like a premium version, but that's kind of 2 other systems. And then the other one that I still use, but I don't use it for client management anymore, is Evernote. Evernote has been just like my online brain. So when I was first getting started, I used Evernote to keep track of everything. I uploaded client files, I uploaded contracts, I kept notes, tasks, to-do lists, all that stuff in Evernote. The only downside was that I used Evernote for everything. I mean, I saved blog posts, I typed blog posts in there, I edited things, I saved it like a storage cabinet, basically. So adding my clients in there just kind of cluttered everything. So when I wanted to search for something, I had like 50 different things come up rather than just that client. So it wasn't, Evernote's better for storage. I don't really love it as like an active organizer, I guess. So those are 3 tools that might work for you a little better. If you're in the wedding industry, Aisle Planner is a fantastic one for you. I've heard so many great things about that. I have never used it personally because I'm not in the wedding business. But if you are, that's a really great option too. Okay, so that's kind of everything. I want to answer some of your guys' questions. So if you have any tools that you use, or you have like a problem with your current system or whatever it is, start asking me questions. You can ask me in the chat box to the right of this video, or you can ask me right below the video in the questions box. I'll keep an eye on both of those. I know there's a pretty heavy delay from this video to you guys, so while we kind of wait and see if any of y'all have questions, I'm going to show you my planner that I use. I really love Google Calendar. That's like the main thing I use. I use it on my phone as well. But I still write everything down in a paper planner. And part of that is just that I have a really terrible memory. So writing things down kind of helps me remember things. And the other part is that I just really love actually writing. I love taking notes and writing things out. So I use a paper planner for all my blog planning and for client meetings and big projects. So this is the Emily Ley Simplified Planner. This is the academic version, so it started in August and it ends in next July. I have another Emily Ley planner just like this. It's the daily version, so I'm using that right now until August starts. But I only have one hand still, so bear with me. These are kind of what the daily pages look like. You have your schedule on the left and then to-do list on the right. You have a spot for dinner and notes. Then you have your monthly calendar view, which kind of looks like this. And that is pretty much everything in the planner. It's super simple. It's a simplified planner. But it really helps me kind of look at it at a glance and figure out what's important. So anything in here is something that is like important and has to be done. So I have things like I write blog posts every Monday, so all of my blog posts are listed in here. I have newsletters every Friday, so those are in here. Any client meetings I write in here. So Google Calendars I use for everything. I put in like social media stuff that I have to do, events that I want to attend, webinars that I want to watch. So that's kind of the huge overview of my day, and it has everything. My paper planner is more the important stuff, so things that I cannot miss, things that have to be done by a certain time. So that's kind of how I organize events a little bit. I know this probably seems like a crap ton of systems, but everything integrates really well with each other. So it doesn't feel like I'm using 6 different tools. It feels more like I'm using a few tools that all kind of connect with each other. So 17 Hats connects to my website, and then my calendar connects to 17 Hats, and my scheduler connects to my calendar, and my calendar connects to my email. So that's kind of why it works, I guess. Your system, for it to be simple, that doesn't mean that you have to use only 1 or 2 tools. To have a simple system, you just need to have it set up so it's as automated as possible and it works for your needs. You could have 80 different tools, but as long as it's automated and you understand it, that's really all that's important. You just need something that's organized and keeps all of your files safe and secure. All right, so I don't think there's any questions. If y'all like leave this and you realize you totally forgot to ask something, you can email me, hello@noraconrad.com. You can comment below this video if you're watching the replay, if you're watching it on YouTube or on a blog post. And if you're watching this anytime within the next 30 minutes on Crowdcast, I will keep an eye on the chat, and if you guys have any questions, I'll just answer it in the chat box over there. Other than that, thank you guys for watching. I know it was super short notice. I'm surprised by how many of you actually watched this, so thank you. And y'all have a good afternoon. I will see you around.